In today's video, we find out what happens when the Team IO, Boss Dr. Sloan and Huntmaster Saber meet the 7. This is like the Fortnite live event, which is just around the corner, but early. I decided, you know what, why don't we just find out what happens if they meet right now? So that's what we're going to do in today's video. If you guys are new around here, roughly 98% of you guys aren't already subscribed, so tap that subscribe button and let's jump straight into this. So the plan for today's video was to build a giant arena around Dr. Sloan and Huntmaster Saber, so we could kind of put them in there ready to go. And then we would bring all of the 7 team over, including Agent Jones and Peely. I don't know, I just thought I'd have Peely because he's pretty cool. That includes Foundation, Visitor, Peely, obviously the Imagined, the Scientist, and even the Origin. Once all these were ready to go, we'd take them over to this giant arena and find out what would happen when they meet Dr. Sloan and Huntmaster Saber. Will they eliminate them or not? So jumping straight in, the first thing I did was dive over towards the brand new POI of the Collider, where the event's going to be taking place this season, and start to farm up metal. Metal was super crucial in this situation because I needed to start constructing this giant arena for the battle to take place in. It had to be super big because Dr. Sloan and Huntmaster Saber roam quite a big area, and we didn't want them aggroing on any of our NPCs or bosses when we bring them over. So I built this giant arena, and you can see here, this actually took me a total of half an hour to construct, and you can even see the tunnel on the far side, which we're going to bring Foundation through later on. Quite nicely done. You can see the Battle Labs is now half an hour down, and I've constructed this huge base ready to go, and hopefully this arena will be perfect for us when we do get all the NPCs and bosses meeting. If you guys haven't already though, tap a like on the video. It would mean the absolute world to me if we could get over 10,000 likes in this one. Quite a big push, but I think we could possibly do it. So while that was taking place, you can see from the footage, all I simply did was went and grabbed the Imagine and the Scientist, got them on a car and took them outside of the arena, and then they were set to go. They were simply outside, and we'd put them in the arena when everyone else had arrived, but we'd have to bring them all one by one. So next was the Visitor. This one took a little bit of time, but we got him pretty close, and we just started fishing rodding him around the arena, getting him in a nice position ready for the fight, so he was ready to jump in the arena and fight the enemies in there and see what would happen. While that was going, you can see in the distance my team were bringing over some other NPCs in the other cars, and we got the Visitor in a nice little spot over here. All I had to do was simply just box him up. We had him ready to go, and he was basically set. And what he was going to do is he was going to walk. I'll explain how this is going to work. So once we got them boxed in, you can see what we're going to do is we're actually going to have them inside of here, and my teammate here is going to edit this wall here behind me, and that's what he's going to go through. He's going to go into the arena through that wall there, and that's how he's going to get in during the fight. So not too difficult at all, really. All my team was set for this, and same with Peely. We were bringing him around over here. We had him in a nice little box, and again, my teammate would simply edit the wall for Peely to go into the arena when the fight was ready to go. And I was also the same for Origin as well. We positioned him quite nicely here. So they were all set. The arena was all constructed. I had my little car over here. This one had Jones on. That one had the Imagined and obviously the Scientist. And now we had all the NPCs over other than Foundation. Foundation was the final one to collect, so we went over to Foundation, collected him, got him on a car, and started to take him over. Wait for all my team to get on just for backup if we need any extra help with Foundation. He can be a little bit difficult sometimes, well, very difficult, but we got Foundation on the car and he was set to go. So he was ready, and we're going to take him through the new water stream. I was just looking at my map, trying to position him where I can drive this, because it's not easy to drive these cars. It can get a little bit difficult sometimes, and there's a lot of obstacles and things that can get in the way, which you'll see right here. As I bring in to take Foundation through, this was not good. I ended up taking him around this corner, and suddenly we actually come against something which I did not expect. I was checking my map for my route, I go around through here, and suddenly wolves. This is not good because Foundation can aggro onto these, so I instantly turned the car around as quickly as I could and sent in my team to take out these wolves, because this was really bad. If these wolves were to aggro on Foundation, this would ruin the entire video, and we've been in this battle labs already for 1 hour. So luckily enough, Foundation has not taken any damage. We didn't want him to take any damage because that would make it an unfair fight. None of the NPCs have taken any damage, and as always, we try and make these fights as fair as possible in these videos to make them legit and the best content possible here on YouTube. So all of our NPCs were fully on HP. Foundation, no damage taken from wolves. Nicely done. He didn't aggro on them either, so he was ready to go. Little boar, I wasn't really too scared about that, so we just ignored that and carried on going and taking Foundation up this giant kind of tube which we built for him, which we're going to take him up now in our car. So I begin to take him up, and suddenly my controller has a really weird controller drift and decides to actually dive down. So that was kind of a write-off the tube, but we'll just drive him over anyway. Anyway, after driving him over, Foundation was in position. We had him in the location on the outside of the arena, and all we had to do again was just simply box him up nicely here. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel further and you get a free moment, pop in code POST to your item shop. You can do this by entering in via your item shop or by one of my creative maps. Here we are actually on Toybox. Here's a little preview of the code for you guys on the little photo card you can take photos with. Pretty cool. There's the code if you want to go in. So once Foundation was safely boxed up, I head over to the other side of the arena to get an overview of everything going on. You can see all my teammates' names inside of their boxes with their NPCs, as well as all the NPCs ready to go. We simply baited Huntmaster Saber up the hill, ready for everything to kind of be close together, because with Huntmaster Saber up the hill, it allowed the NPCs to kind of get in close combat with the IO team over here. You can see Foundation have been released, all the NPCs are being released on the far side, including Origin, and even on the right. So let's jump into the replay and check this out. Jumping straight into the replay, you can see what we managed to do is manage to bait Huntmaster Saber over to the Dr. Sloan, and while these were together, this gave us the perfect opportunity to release our NPCs and bosses from around the arena. That includes all of the 7 NPCs and the Foundation. We also added in Agent Jones as well, because technically he is part of the 7 and IO, and we also even added in Peely because of all of his recent crashes recently. So we've got him in, we've got him all ready to go, and first off you can see Origin goes straight in for the fight here against Dr. Sloan. You've got Visitor moving in on the right there, Dr. Sloan aiming in at Origin, dealing a little bit of damage to him, actually takes him out fairly quickly there, just because obviously Dr. Sloan does a huge amount of damage. But you can see Visitor also engaging in with Dr. Sloan here on this left side. Quite an interesting fight between these two. Visitor trying to hold his ground, taking a little bit of damage there on his shield. Peely on the right as well, making his way through the bush over there. You can see we've got Peely coming into the arena as well. Over on this side, we can see Foundation was actually breaking outside of his box. It took him a while to target onto the Doctor. He stood here for a little bit, looking around, thinking, there she is. He brings out his huge meatball, he throws in the rock and breaks the structures and gets straight into the arena. So his action becomes very quickly, and he's straight in the arena. While he's in the arena, he's spraying down Dr. Sloan over there at distance, trying his best not to hit his teammate, the Visitor. So he's trying his best not to hit the Visitor, and he's moving in straight for the Doctor. He's hitting the Doctor a little bit, gets a little bit of a hit on there over, throws in the big rock, and actually goes for the Huntmaster Saber, misses the Huntmaster, but gets a nice little few 23s on there, and Huntmaster's getting in close there, dealing a little bit of damage, but he takes a lot of damage from Foundation's Mark 1 rifle there, doing a ton of damage there to Huntmaster. Huntmaster holding his ground on his hill, moving in close again, going for some no-scopes up close. He goes in with the big rock, he throws it down, and Huntmaster dodges it entirely, using his teleportation ability to move away from the Foundation. Very nice move there from Huntmaster, moving away from Foundation in this situation. You see Foundation is trying his best to hold the ground on the hill. Huntmaster doing a little bit of damage again, going in with his huge claws now, getting a nice little Wolverine hit on Foundation, sending him up to the sky. Foundation switches to his meatball and does not hit. And over on the other side, while this was taking place, we got Peely rotating in. The Visitor was trying to hold his ground versus the Dr. Sloan team, but they do take down the Visitor nice and easily because there are obviously 3 of them working together. And over on his side, back over to the Huntmaster Saber, goes in with another swing, hitting the Foundation, sending him up into the air once again. Foundation pulls out his rock but misses once again, but luckily enough, the teleportation was not enough, and he actually hits the Huntmaster Saber. Really nice little turn there from Foundation to actually get that hit in. Now you can see Peely's not happy with Foundation, so he's going for Foundation right now. Huntmaster's also going for Foundation, and the Doctor is also going for Foundation. So we've got a big fight going on between all of these NPCs and bosses right here. While this was taking place, you can see that the Imagined and the Scientist were strolling through while Jones was joining the battle. Once Jones got into the battle, you could see over here we had Huntmaster aiming in, Peely aiming in, everyone getting in this action over here, and Jones was just moving his way in, and he gets hit by Huntmaster right there and starts getting straight into the action between Huntmaster and Dr. Sloan. Unlucky though, Foundation actually decides to pull out of his huge rock, and this was not good for Jones because it hit Jones and made Jones think, you know what, I'm going to join back the Imagined Order, and joined straight back to the Imagined Order and started fighting Foundation. While this was taking place, Peely was also fighting the Team Sloan up here, and he got a little bit confused. I don't know exactly what happened to him, but he just disappeared. I don't know if he got eliminated or he just vanished, but Peely is out. Who knows what happened to him. While that was all taking place, you can see that the Foundation did bring in that meatball, like I said, and it does actually target onto the Doctor as well as the Jones, which was not good here because the Huntmaster jumped straight in on the Foundation, dealing a little bit of extra damage to Foundation right here, but Jones betrays his team, and that is not good for the 7 team at all. Jones jumping in, taking on Foundation. Foundation's got so much fire coming in on him right now. He's got fire coming in from Huntmaster, Sloan, as well as even the Jones. So you can see Foundation's actually had his shield crack right here. He's taking a lot of damage from them, but doing a lot of damage back. He doesn't miss many shots. He's actually dealing some damage to Dr. Sloan, dealing some damage to Huntmaster, brings out his huge meatball once again. The rock's coming straight in, he's going to hit, gets a nice little hit there on the Huntmaster, getting a nice hit on him. Huntmaster then TPs in behind Foundation, behind the walls. Nice little strategy there for Huntmaster outside of our walls. Nothing we could do about that, sadly. But he gets straight back into the arena. He's still taking fire from the other side, and over on this side, Scientist is just completely strolling. He then pulls out his meatball, hits the Huntmaster Saber once again. Huntmaster Saber goes back into the walls again. He's aiming in on him. You can see the Dr. Sloan's also dealing damage to the Foundation on this far side. A little bit of extra damage there. He has got his shield cracked, so he is pretty low. Jones also hitting Foundation for a little bit there. Foundation fighting back, aiming for Jones right here. Huntmaster going in with some close combat, getting a little bit of hit there, and Foundation goes down to Huntmaster Saber, but then Huntmaster switches straight around. Jones is like, no, my friend Foundation. He decides, he realizes he wants to help the 7 again. Jones is down in a position, holding his ground against these. He's dealing a little bit of damage to Huntmaster Saber there. Huntmaster Saber having none of it though. though, aiming straight back at Jones and get a nice little double hit straight on Jones. Let's take a little replay of this. You see the Huntmaster gets in the arena. Jones actually up here, aiming in on Huntmaster. Huntmaster's super low, and so is Jones, though. Jones has lost his shield, but Jones takes down Huntmaster Saber, but Dr. Sloan says, no, you're not having that, and gets revenge straight on Huntmaster Saber, taking out Agent Jones just like that. This now only leaves 2 members of the 7 left, Scientist, who actually escaped the arena, unfortunately. Little sneaky Scientist, as well as the Imagine. So we send in the Imagine onto Dr. Sloan. She now gets targeted on Dr. Sloan, and it's now the Imagine versus Sloan. Who's going to win between these? We don't exactly know. Let's find out. So you can see Imagine aiming in a little bit, get a little bit of a crouch advantage here on the hill. Dr. Sloan's a little bit low though, because she has already taken damage from the previous fights, whereas the Imagine hasn't been in full fights yet. She's actually using the Ranger, which is going to come in super handy for that range ability here against the Doctor. The Doctor's taking a little bit of damage here. You see she's a little bit confused who to target. She's also targeting us, so the Doctor's got a little bit of a disadvantage, and wow, the Imagine really does take out the Doctor quite easily. Let's take a little replay of that. Nice little takedown from the Imagine. I did not expect the Imagine to take out Dr. Sloan, but she was not messing around at all. She headed straight out the arena searching for the Scientist and decided, you know what, we're going to betray Scientist and actually take him out. I don't know why this was. Maybe because her name's Imagine and her sister's called Order, and they decided, you know what, we're going to get revenge or something on 7, and decides to take out Scientist. But luckily, Scientist is not having any of it. Scientist is holding his ground here, actually using his pistol quite well, getting a few extra shots here on the Imagine. Luckily, nicely for Scientist, he's dodging a few shots, and Scientist gets the takedown on the Imagine, and it's another great victory for the Scientist. Most of you know by now that I created the toy box pack with every single weapon and item inside of Fortnite Creative, but I want to show you something. This was the craziest amount of XP I was ever getting in toy box. I was getting over 9,000 XP for dropping inside of the box itself, and for every elimination I was getting 8,000 XP. This was an insane amount and will really help me level up my battle pass when I'm trying to get to that max level this season. I want to get that Doctor Strange skin as quickly as possible, and by playing creative, this is really going to help me out. So if you guys want to try a map with all weapons and items ever inside of Fortnite in a free-for-all arena, then Toy Box is for you. Use the code on screen right now and pop into Toy Box. You can also find the Toy Box map inside of the popular. If you enjoyed today's video or enjoy the content and want to support me further, don't forget to go and pop in code POST to your item shop. You can do that by entering into your item shop code POST or hitting the button inside of the Toy Box map if you want to do it that way.